Hey, 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 Fit Mama. Jen Oliver here, your host of the Fit Mama podcast. This is the work in to your workout. Hey, 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 coming at you this week with episode 10, Cultivating Healthy Habits That Stick. Yup, it's that time of year. Healthy habits, starting new things, starting new routines, having new goals. Some people buy in, some people don't. Other people love to just start things anytime, and some people love to hate on resolutions. Where are you on that spectrum? To be honest, it does not really matter. The research out there on resolutions in that traditional sense is that most people do not stick to them for longer than the first month. But I really don't believe that that statistic can apply to you. So you have a choice in changing the way that you're perceiving things around your New Year's goals or resolutions. And if you want to have that as a turning over of a new leaf, then heck yeah, go for it, right? It doesn't really matter. It's just what you decide. Healthy habits, research, practice, teaching, training, coaching, living. These are the things that I love. And I have lived and breathed this topic of healthy habits for as long as I can remember. I, as a kid, remember my siblings making fun of me when I would pack carrot sticks to go to the movies because I wasn't interested in eating popcorn. And funny as that is, I actually do like popcorn and butter at the movies now more than I ever did as a kid because it made me feel sick back then. And now it's probably one of those things where I don't have it that often. And it doesn't actually make me feel sick because I only eat a little bit. I don't gorge on it or have too much. I have a little, I listen to my body, and it feels okay. So tuning into my body has truly been the greatest gift for me. But I've really worked in this industry of fitness, health, nutrition, creating healthy habits, improving people's health and wellness for absolutely almost 20 years now, for a really, really long time. And I recall working at a large gym here, a chain gym in Canada, where we would ask people upon them entering the gym and wanting to join the gym, we would go into some details around what are their needs, what are their goals, and what kind of time frame they're looking at achieving these goals in. And we were always told that it's all about goal setting, making a plan, implementing the plan, getting the results. And like a formula, it's supposed to be that easy. It's like, I claim my stake. This is going to be my year. I'm not going to eat any more sugar, and I'm going to eat only healthy things, right? With which we don't even always know what those specific things are for us. So we take this stand, right? Which relatively speaking, based on the research, it should be that easy, right? You eat these things, you lose weight, end of story. But what the research around eating these things and losing weight does not account for is living a life, right? Living life. And it's not about living life, you can't have these or can have these. That actually has nothing to do with it. It's more about you setting restrictions and then feeling stressed by it, right? Stressed because you can't have this and that's all you want, or putting these rules on yourself that just don't feel like they fit into your life. So when it doesn't follow that model of make a plan, implement, and get results, because there always needs to be a backup plan. But what about when there are other barriers in your way, like sleep, perhaps, or a lack thereof, right? That's one of those key factors. It's almost like it is the gatekeeper, right? You can eat this and lose weight, sure. And the minute you don't get enough sleep, well, you don't feel like eating that anymore. And your levels of serotonin are begging you to have a cookie instead of the chicken breast that you are allotted for lunch. So there are always these barriers, right? There's always these real life situations that come up, and sleep is one of those ones. Another one is negative self-talk. Lack of self-belief is a huge one. This is kind of one of those things that it doesn't matter what you eat or when you eat it. Maybe you're not going to be inspired to eat those things if you are feeling a lack of self-belief, or if you're constantly negatively talking to yourself. And how about when you feel tired, disconnected, crappy, and just don't want to do it? It's not the chicken breast fault. It's not the lentils fault. It's not the lemon water's fault if you do or don't want it. A lot of the time it has to do so much with the mental emotional factors that you either don't even have an appetite for food at all, or you're too busy engaging your life that you're just like food, whatever, or it goes the other way and you're only thinking about what foods can I eat and what foods can I not eat, which makes you, of course, want the ones that you are technically, quote unquote, not allowed. As you can see, there are a lot of things that go into the foods we eat and the exercise that we do or don't do. And it doesn't always have to do with the food or the exercise. So then what? Are you just SOL, shit out of luck, and you can't do anything? No, right? There's going to be days where you don't get enough sleep. There's going to be days where you feel like crap and you have a lack of self-belief, or you're talking negatively to yourself. Absolutely. We all have those days. Hopefully they're moments that you swap out really, really quickly. But finding and connecting deeper to your why, the why of that habit. Why do you want to do it? A few episodes back, I talked about asking the question why, and I recommended against it. Now that's in a certain context, like why does this keep happening to me? Why can't I ever get it sorted out straight? Why do I always suck? Why do barriers always come in my way? Asking those kinds of whys keeps you stuck in the victim mode, as I mentioned in that episode. So go back and check out that episode of asking better questions and eliminating the why. It's called Ditch the Why. So asking yourself, why do I want to do this habit is a very vital question, because if you aren't truly clear on why you want to do it, you are not going to be motivated to do it, right? You're not going to be getting up early. You're not going to be restricting yourself or adding things into your life and choosing what's worth it and what's not worth it if you don't understand why you're even doing it, right? So I recently talked to a friend of mine who has lost a significant amount of weight, and she was specifically talking about the fact that when she hit her rock bottom moment, when she decided she was going to change her habits so she could go on to lose 140 pounds, it was all about the fact that she got really clear that her kids might grow up without a mom if she kept going in the way that she was going. So that's a pretty big why. Wanting to be alive for your kids, wanting to be present, wanting to be engaged, wanting to live a life that is actually living and not just waiting to die is a huge why. And it's probably one of the most significant ones. This is what is very common among people who have had some type of injury, illness, and dis-ease of some sort. They get really clear on their why, because working out was taken off the table. Having health and longevity was somehow taken off the table for them. And that allowed them to connect deeper to their why. We all think weight loss is a motivator. And it's easy to think this. It's easy to think if we just lost weight, then all the other things in our lives that plagued us will cease to exist. And we berate ourselves over and over for why we cannot pick up and maintain new health habits. And we blame it on our willpower. We go, I don't have enough willpower. But weight loss isn't always, actually most of the time it isn't at all, a good motivator. And let me tell you this, willpower isn't the problem. It's really all about getting into that deeper why. Again, getting back into your core that I'm always talking about, connecting to your core, the core of who you are, and why living a healthy lifestyle, being a fit mama, living as a role model for your children is important to you. Why? Why? What are the feelings? What are the experiences? What is the life you're going to have? What will you gain? Because what you gain is actually more important than what you lose when it comes to losing weight. And that interview that I had recently with my friend who lost 140 pounds, she confirmed that this notion that I always refer to, losing weight does not cure a negative body image. She confirmed that. She lost a ton of weight, but even after she lost more than 100 pounds, she was still speaking negatively towards herself, calling herself names, telling herself that she was way bigger than she was, and going to the store and picking out way bigger sizes than she actually was. It wasn't size or weight that was actually her issue. It was her perception of herself at that size. Her perception of herself at any size was laden with the history of what she had been saying to herself for years and years. As long as she could remember, she was overweight. We judge ourselves and we pick ourselves apart, and we constantly live our life like our own worst enemy, thinking that that is really going to be the game changer. If I push myself hard enough, if I tell myself long enough how sucky I am and how bad I am and how much I need to go to the gym, I'm finally going to do it. And I am here to tell you loud and clear, right in your ear, Fit Mama, this does not work. There is no hating yourself into a body you love. No way. And it doesn't even make sense to try that method. And if you really, really want Fit Mama to cultivate healthy habits that stick, it is all about starting to love and appreciate your body now. Not in some later time. Now. Appreciate it for what it looks like and what it does now. Not thinking when you're in a different pant size or when you can wear this bikini. That is all crap. You can do it now. You can tell yourself now how beautiful you are. The things you say to yourself day in and day out make up your reality. And from that reality, you choose the foods that you eat. From that reality, where you're the victim, where you're the bad guy, the ugly duckling, or whatever you're calling yourself, you're never going to want to treat yourself like the queen beauty that you are, because you can't see it yet. And that's the downfall, right? It's like walking into one of those old dilapidated houses. And even though you have $500,000 to upgrade it, to renovate it, to do whatever you want, all you keep saying is, this house is so ugly. This house is never going to be nice. This house sucks. This house is sucky. And you're going on about it. What about walking in there and just saying, hey, I can see the vision. I love this house. I'm going to nurture this house. Each day I'm going to wash down one wall. Each day I'm going to lay down one new tile and build this dream home the way I can see it in my mind's eye. Start with the end in mind, Fit Mama. Start seeing yourself every day as that person that is in that fitter, smaller, stronger body. Start to visualize what it would be like to be her. Close your eyes. Really feel it. Imagine someone who has that body, someone you follow on Instagram who motivates you in some way, someone who's strong, someone who's sexy. And it doesn't matter what they actually physically look like. Remember, it's just someone who exudes that core confidence that you want to embody. So start to visualize what it would be like to be her. If you know her, reach out and ask her, what does it take? What are your thoughts? What are your conversations in your head towards yourself? What would her daily habits consist of? We can assume, but we can also ask, right? So ask her, or just start to think, what would that look like? What would my day-to-day look like? What would my self-talk sound like? What would my friends be like? What would my weekends look like? And start to lay it out for yourself, because if you want to be different than you are, it has to start today with doing the things as if you embody that new way. Remember, what you're doing, thinking, saying, or being right now is not the problem. It doesn't have to be a problem. It is not a problem. You don't need to change. But if there is something that you are wanting to change, then just start to embody the image of that new you. be that person. For me, I always, and still to this day, look at role models, mentors, coaches, people in my sphere of where I want to go, whether it's with my career or what kind of mom I want to be, what kind of wife I want to be. I look at people around me who are living that kind of life, living and being the person I want to be more like. And that gives me ammo, that gives me experience, that gives me self-efficacy where I can go, I can do that. If someone else can do that, I can do that. And just start to be that every single day. This week, Fit Mama, as you start to consider what new healthy habits you truly want to cultivate and stick with, I want you to try these 3 things that I know are going to help you. Now, I'm going to lay out 5 particular steps, but I want you to think about these 3 things as themes. These are actually the 3 major themes of my book, The Love FitMama Way, but I want you to think about these 3 themes, and if you are partaking in these 3 themes in your life, you are going to be successful. I guarantee that. We focus completely on the mind-body aspects of being a fit mama in our FitMama Foundations program. And this is where this really comes from. There is a section specifically on all these things I'm talking about here, but I created this framework that went into my book and went into the FitMama Foundations program because I saw, not only through my experience coaching and training, but I saw in the research and the literature out there that these are the pieces, the key pieces that are missing in the diet and fitness industry as it stands right now that are needing to be incorporated in your life as a mindset, as a framework. So I created the Embrace, Nurture, and Enjoy framework for Fit Mama because it really has to do with those 3 steps, one after the other. It goes in a sequence. And just like the breakdown of my book, it's 3 parts. Part 1, embrace. Part 2, nurture. Part 3, enjoy. These 3 key elements of your life are going to allow you to cultivate healthy habits that stick for life if you are following these. And because these build on each other, it's vital to attack them one at a time. So the first thing I want you to look at in your own life is around embracing your Fit Mama journey, embracing where you're at, embracing your reality, embracing your body, embracing your life. And this starts by taking pen to paper and getting really clear on what the reality of your life looks like right now. Because we all have these ideals that I'm just going to go to the gym 5 days a week and I'm going to go do this or do that or eat that or cook this. And while we do have a lot of control over these things, when we have infants or toddlers at home, life is unpredictable. So is that the stage and phase of your life that you're in? This phase, having infants and toddlers at home, is an intense draw on your nervous system. It is full on mode, as I always call it with friends of mine. We always go, yep, I'm in full on mode right now, right? We know that. It's when you're on all cylinders firing, right? Got to tend to this person, got to help that person. Oh, that one's peeing their pants. Oh, this one's making a mess. Oh, that one's going to fall off the couch. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Your nervous system is on hyper alert drive. Right? Having young ones is a serious natural stressor in our lives. Again, not always negative, but it draws heavily on that nervous system and gives us that depletion that we are not always going to be working our best from. So expecting too much from yourself in the way of scheduling and commitment to a schedule is just setting you up for failure. Maybe you're in a different phase. Maybe you have preteens or older kids who have needed you for so long and now rely on you for so much because they were trained to do so. They can do things for themselves, but they aren't trained to do that. So now is the time you can create a little bit more freedom in your life, but you're not used to it. You're not used to putting yourself first. You're not used to telling them, hey, do this, or allowing them to get better at it. It's all about baby steps, Fit Mama. Each phase, it's about starting with one small step. And that's what embracing is all about. You are on this journey, and this is a key piece to realize that it's just part of the journey. It's just a phase. If you have young ones at home, or if you have a lot of stuff going on, you are in the trenches. You are in the hot seat. You are on fire. So give yourself a pat on the back. Ask yourself what you need and heed that. Listen to it. Honor it. Allow yourself to do you. Right? As January Harshi says on her podcast and in all her Instagram, I love following her on Instagram. If you don't follow January, she is so cute. And she says, you do you, boo, with a little unicorn, which I totally love. Because if you don't honor yourself and you keep blowing over your own needs to attend to others, you're sending your body and yourself a very clear signal that you are not worthy. Heed your needs, Fit Mama. This is one of the things I say so often, and I cannot overemphasize it. Heed your needs, which is listen to the needs that you have and honor them. This is the entire first part of my book, and I go into so many details and foundations that will help you, but your needs change when you become a mom, period. End of story. And figuring out what those needs are takes practice. That is step 1, embrace. Step 2, nurture you. Again, as we talk in detail in the FitMama Foundations program, it is all about listening to your body, becoming more self-aware, and understanding when it is time to push and when it isn't. I know, this is a tough one. It does take a lot of practice. We aren't used to that. We really just aren't used to it. We are used to ignoring ourselves, ignoring our needs. And that is the part that we have practiced. So now it's time to practice listening, tuning in, nurturing you, digging in, asking yourself the hard questions. What do I need? And what am I willing to speak up for? We all want to be really good at things right off the bat, don't we? But tuning into your body and really listening and honoring it is actually like bench pressing 250 pounds or doing 25 chin-ups, right? Things that are so hard. Listening to your body sounds easy, but it's so hard. And you need to start with about 10 pounds first before you can get to 250 pounds. And there needs to be a slow incremental increase, right? So starting to get present, starting to get into your body, starting to notice how many times do I chew a piece of food? How does my belly feel after I eat one bite of food? How does my heart rate change when I walk up the stairs? Starting to tune in on these little nuances allow you to hear the subtle things that you're usually too busy and too focused on the bigger things to look at and to notice. But it takes those little nuances to get to the really big stuff, to get to really tuning in to which foods are not actually serving you, to which habits are not serving you, which friends and circumstances in your life are draining you. This all takes practice to get to those places by doing the little things. And nurturing you doesn't always have to be a push. It's all about you listening to yourself, going hard at the gym or running or eating super quote unquote clean, being disciplined, whatever it is that you so desire doesn't have to be the only way. You can possibly get to those places of going harder, or maybe one day a week you go do that. But for the most part, being disciplined enough just to schedule time for you and not have everyone around you hijack your time and your schedule saying, I need you, is a key first step. You deserve it, Fit Mama. You deserve it. Absolutely so important. So nurturing you requires slowing down, asking these deeper questions. Is this making me feel good? Sometimes that's a really deep question because the answer that comes isn't always what we want to hear. So tune into what you need so that you can be at your best for those in your life that you love the most. That's what they deserve. And that's what you deserve as well. Lastly, and I'm going to close this before I get into my 5 basic steps. I'm going to actually put those into the next podcast because this one's getting long. The 5 steps to actually getting and cultivating the healthy habits that stick are going to come in the next one. This one is really about setting yourself up in your framework, in your mind, in your heart, getting clear on embracing, nurturing, and lastly, step 3, enjoying. What is it all worth if you're not enjoying anything? If you're not enjoying your fitness, if you're not enjoying the foods you eat, if you're not enjoying the energy that you get from taking care of yourself, what's the point? There's so much research out there right now about happiness, the science of happiness and all that. And one of my fave researchers, Gretchen Rubin, on her Happier podcast and in all her books, talks specifically a lot about happiness research and the info that she's researched, which is a lot of the info that I've researched, and she puts a lot of clarity and practicality around it. The overarching thing that the research shows when it comes to creating and maintaining healthy habits and happiness is this: we are all different. But there are certain people who have certain tendencies. And if we can work within these frameworks to know what works for us, then we can figure it out. Ta-da! Again, it comes back to tuning in to you, to heeding your needs, embracing where you're at, starting to nurture and honor you. And then this natural step 3 of enjoying tends to be your truth. And enjoying stems from 3 things that I talk about in the book, specifically around the first one, which is about obligations, not overextending yourself and making your life full of doing obligatory things for other people. I have to help that person. I have to cook this thing. I have to do this. I have to clean that. I have to do that. And over, we set ourselves up with too many obligations. So absolutely focus. If you can see that you have too many things in your schedule, start to minimize them. Give yourself more space. You are not a one-size-fits-all person. Maybe you're more controlling. Maybe you're more type A. Maybe you're more carefree. Maybe you love routines. Maybe you hate routines. Whatever you are, stop trying to change yourself. Start working within the parameters of who you are, because you are an incredible person who deserves love, most specifically from yourself. So that is going to finish this today. Next week, I'm going to be talking to you about the top 5 focuses and the basic steps that will allow you to truly come from that place of creating and cultivating healthy habits that stick, that actually stick long term. I know you can do it. I've seen it happen over and over when we get these 3 pieces right. Embrace, nurture, and enjoy you, Fit Mama. Have a great day. Have a great week. I will see you next week for action steps and lots more on this topic and so much more. Fit Mama, the work in to your workout. Have a great day, Fit Mama. Namaste.